Okay, so day 2, got a lot done.
Okay, so I figured out how to get the last nut out.
It requires the wrench that we were using, this sort of junk 14 mil, and just some giant rod and a 3-pound hammer. But what I did is, hopefully you can see a wrench in there, and then I rested this against the wrench, kind of like that. I smacked right here, and we finally got it loose, and the drive shaft's about to come off, so that's good. Taking out each of the bolts down in here is surprisingly easy. I'm gonna try and let you be able to see, but I can just kind of push it. If you can't push it, I just put the wrench on it and I twist it back, forth, left, right, whatever, and then eventually it'll loosen up and you'll be able to spin it off. It's not threaded, so I actually just kept tightening it once the nut was off, and it broke all the rust that was in it with the one bolt that was stuck in there. Now maybe I can, there we go, that's off. Okay. That's one drive shaft. Hell yeah. Okay, so the rear drive shaft comes out right there. Boom, 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 boom. There's really only 2 connection points I'm gonna need to disconnect. This, which is similar to the front drive shaft and what we're looking at, but we have a lot more room to work with. Thank the Lord in heaven. We will mark it up so that we know where to connect it back with a little line. Boop. So I think, yeah, you can see my old line there, because I've done this before. I continued it there too, because I completely redid my U-joints in the past. That was a pain. And then we're going to need to disconnect this wonderful thing, which is the hanger bearing. Please don't tell me I need to redo the hanger bearing again. Whatever. I go through these pretty fast too. I don't know what the problem is, so I just kind of loosened it up so that I think it was too much friction. But we're disconnecting this and we're disconnecting that. That's it. And I'm probably gonna make a line up with that again. You can see our line there from previous times. This does rotate, so you know. Okay, so the way that you go about this, come on, won't you stay up? Can you see? No, you can't. Ow! Okay, so this is the harder of the 2 parts. I got that down, but now we have to take out that bolt and that bolt. There is no nut, which is phenomenal. This side is a lot harder because you're pressed up against the gas tank. Even with an extended nut, an extended socket, deep socket, whatever, I have to use an extension, which I'll do later. This side I just use a thin socket and it seems to work well. Thick sockets don't like to fit in there though, and sometimes this gets in the way. Okay, for this next part, we'll need 2 rags. That's gonna be the important bit. You can also see this is front of where the hanger bearing is. First rag is gonna be going in here. Second one's gonna be going around this so that you don't damage it. Hopefully my phone doesn't get spilled on. Ah! Ah. Man, this is a heavy son of a gun. Come on. There you go. Well, you know, we got a little bit of leakage. Ow. Come on. Oh, my face. Okay, so shove that in there. I probably need a second rag. And the other one's gonna be going around this junker. So when I take it out, it's fine. Jesus help me, come on. It's not lightweight, especially from this angle. Okay, that's how you do that. You should probably try and do it better than I did, though. Okay, so I remembered I have this wonderful book. I'm gonna go to this page. This is gonna be the most important page to you, and to me. So what's really important, this is our model that we're looking at, is how many bolts we have. That will help me kind of figure out where they are and keep up with how many I need to still take out when we get to that point. It also, on the following page, tells me what the shifter knob might look like in 3 different versions. This being is this our version? I think this is our version. But it doesn't give me any information about the 4-wheel drive shift knob, except for this little bit of information right here, which does me very little. Except it does look like there's a tiny little screw down there that I can just undo. Hopefully it really is that simple. Hopefully. But yeah, this is where we're at. I'm happy that I have this information though. Once again. And then just take photos, screenshots, whatever you need. Did I mention it's just 2 bolts, and because of space you have to use this. So I don't know if you can see this. Can you? Not really. I have my finger on it. Maybe if you're in here. Yeah. See this little etch my finger's on top of? It's right next to my finger. Here it is. I think that is one of these things right here that you pull apart. And if I'm correct, we should be able to get this out because this goes down and up, down, up. I think we'll be able to just pop it out, but then we'll have to be careful not to lose any of the small parts that are gonna come out with it. I think that's the procedure right there. Okay, so I didn't get it on camera, but it was what I thought it was. You can see the clip right here. I just pressed it in 2 different directions with a screwdriver and it shot out like this. So just be prepared when you do it because it'll probably shoot out as well. Let's see what we get out of this thing. Is there any good way to hold this up? Oh, like this will do. Yeah, so that's what we get there. Boom. Boom. Yeah. Grease. I love grease. It gets on everything. And that's why I'm not too worried about this truck, because I know I'm going to get it covered in something eventually anyways. And then we're gonna want to shove a rag in there. As normal. Alright, that's all the hard stuff. Well, no, that's not all the hard stuff. That's all the non-frame stuff. I'm hoping that we don't have to do what the guy said and take off the starter, but we might have to. Yeah. Next thing is gonna be frame stuff. Okay, let me get to a better spot. Okay. So, the other guy that has 5 videos, he took off this bar, that bar, this subframe sort of deal, and this subframe sort of deal all individually. My theory, what if I take off this subframe, that bar, and this bar all together, since they're connected with some ugly fangled dangle crap there. It's only 3 bolts right here. 3 bolts right here, although I haven't looked at how hard it'll be to get those bolts out. 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there. And just pray to the Lord in heaven that it works. I think that's my plan. Okay, so that was a 19, that was a 14, this is a 14. You're gonna need one of these suckers to fit it next to the CV joint, unfortunately. So, cheater bars kind of suck at this angle, but I found a solution, which is if I take this rod right here, I can fit it into the tooth right there of this, and I can get it down to about there, and then I stick this in between here and here and just leverage it the rest of the way, and that's how I loosen this top bolt. Figured those of you with limited tools like I would want to know that.